everybody. This is Joey from the Chart Guys. I've been a trader and technical analyst for 7 years. Been a part of the Chart Guys for 6 of them. Joined as a member in 2018. And now I'm here to talk about some crypto. And the big question is, are bulls back? They've certainly seen a very nice bounce here off of the lows, that falling wedge that we were talking about on Thursday. Definitely gaining a lot more favor here at this point. And ultimately what this bounce did was it held the weekly 12 EMA for us. So we know that's been our bigger picture guide, and it's continuing to hold. So if you would have asked me down at the lows here, if the weekly 12 EMA was going to be held, I would have said, seems unlikely. Dang it, my AV guy. I gotta switch scenes. I swear, that's the second mistake he's made. I might have to fire him. But yeah, let's go back and look at this. So we were talking about a wedge on Thursday here. I think I got it drawn on here still. Nope. What chart is it? Maybe it's the Coinbase one. Yeah. So this was the wedge that we were watching, and how it was drawn originally, we're up and over. But the thing with wedges is it's more of just a visual guide, because I reckon we can finagle this to still have us rejecting from resistance there. So the main reason for the wedges is to take note of the lower lows not seeing follow through. We had 1 round of lower lows without follow through, 2 rounds of lower lows without follow through, and that's a wedge. That shows that bears are not as powerful as they may seem despite breaking support. So what do bulls need to do from here for us to say that, all right, bulls are back? And it is confirm a daily uptrend. We've seen nice bounces over the past couple months, but no daily uptrends in them. So last daily uptrend we had was back in March, and then we lost it. Nice bounce, no daily uptrend. Big pull back, nice bounce, no daily uptrend. Big pull back, nice bounce. Can bulls confirm the daily uptrend from here to give us confidence in weekly bounce follow through? So as I was saying again Thursday, I was not an aggressive bull down here as we neared daily oversold conditions. I was not interested in that. We had just broken the monthly stair step, and the statistics for the monthly stair step break follow through do not favor bulls. The average is 32% pullback. And at this point, we have pulled back all of 4.6%. So if we end up setting a quick monthly higher low here, that will be the fastest monthly higher low in Bitcoin history coming off of all-time highs. So a step towards that is going to be the daily uptrend. So to confirm a daily uptrend, first we need to see daily consolidation. Bears are certainly trying for it. Got to break 62.9 if it's going to happen here today. And let's zoom into the 4-hour. So we've lost the 4-hour uptrend. That's the first sign of daily consolidation. From here, bears need to confirm a 4-hour downtrend to confidently get that daily consolidation underway. And then we'll look to see, do bulls buy up hourly oversold conditions for a daily higher low? It's certainly not a back burner, but we can still get clues from how we respond to oversold conditions. So next time we bounce on the 4-hour here, anything below 65.5K, going to be a 4-hour lower high. And that's what we're looking at from the bull lens on Bitcoin of can this daily falling wedge lead to a very quick monthly higher low? So that's the bull lens. The bear lens is, all right, so we are coming off of the top on the weekly. So we do have a weekly downtrend. There is no debate around that, but essentially bears need to see another lower high and lower low on the weekly if the monthly stair step is going to follow through. So definitely a battle here. Bulls certainly have favor, and we'll have to see how it shakes on out. And as always, we can be getting clues from the altcoins and how they're behaving, and what crypto bulls like to see is a decent number of alts are either right at resistance or breaking resistance, kind of confirming quick little weekly uptrends. It's a little debatable because it's happening on some outside bars, but let's flip through, because I actually don't know off the top of my head who did it. So FET is trying for it, needs to break 263 to get it done. AIOZ still just grinding. JUP trying for it, needs to break 123. And before we continue going through these, remember the alts topped out before Bitcoin. The alts topped out before Bitcoin. So now if they bottom out before Bitcoin, it's that follow the leader concept that you see across all markets, within sectors, all over the place. We see it often. So that's why even if you're a Bitcoin maxi or only trading Bitcoin, or the alts are too scammy or whatever, you still want to watch them to get clues from what everybody else is doing. Because if we are to see, or not if, when we see the next real bear control period in crypto, there will not be many survivors. You will not have alts holding on well. It will be an exodus of money. So you gotta just look for clues there. Let's see, I swear we had some folks regaining the weekly uptrend. Sol's trying for it. Sol BTC has done it. So that's like a next layer clue. And that's what we were talking about on Thursday as well. That was after this day. So Wednesday, it was like, oh, Sol BTC definitely showing us something. And now that's through resistance. So that's what bulls like to see. I think R&DR got the quick little weekly uptrend. Yeah, R&DR actually never lost the weekly uptrend, but little deep pullback, lower high. Bears needed to confirm the weekly downtrend to see monthly consolidation. They weren't able to pull that off, and now bulls are keeping the weekly uptrend intact. So INJ still weak. It's decent today, but weak in general. SUI still pretty weak. Let's see, SEI pretty weak. WLD, that is a weekly uptrend reconfirmed. Monthly higher low trying to shape up coin. So that is what bulls like to see. Let's see, I always mess up this name, ARKM. I don't know, it doesn't really roll off the tongue, but weekly uptrend reconfirmed here. GMT still not even getting a weekly bounce underway. AXS double top right now, trying to do it. So the main point is, if we saw all of these alts that we were looking for the weekly lower highs, which that's this whole section of the watch list here, if we saw them confirm weekly downtrends, that would have had us be more cautious with Bitcoin. But now we've got a lot of them testing resistance, trying for weekly uptrends. That has us a little more optimistic in Bitcoin. As always, gotta watch volume. So let's go back to Bitcoin here now and talk about what would be a red flag on a pullback here. For one, you got not a great first day with the increasing bear volume. You got decreasing bull volume on the bounce, increasing bear volume on the attempt to get daily consolidation underway. If we were to continue to see increasing bear volume, that would be a red flag. If we look at our failed uptrends, so let's look at this one first. Big move, fail to get the uptrend, and then flush down to lower lows, increasing bear volume. Big move, fail to get the uptrend, still kind of struggle here. This is when we were battling for our 2-day higher low after this little daily dinker didn't really follow through, and then increasing bear volume right there to lower lows. So we want to see bear volume decrease on this pullback. It's not set up for that right now, but we don't even have an official pullback underway, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves at this point. But got to keep eyes on volume, because there's definitely another side of the coin where we say, okay, well, there's a handful of alts reconfirming these weekly uptrends. What if bears defend weekly resistance the same way that bulls defended weekly support? That's totally in the cards. And if you're wanting to hedge something out, say you were an aggressive bull here on Bitcoin and you've got your position already, you want to hedge something out, then you're looking at names that are testing resistance right now. We can go to AIOZ, just because this one's been such a beauty. We've had this equilibrium for, what, a month and a half now? Or I'm not very good at counting. Coming up on a month. We've had it for like 3 weeks. And it's opportunity for bulls and bears. You know, as is the technique with ranges. Bulls are playing long off the lows, bears are playing short off the highs. It works until it doesn't. And, you know, right now, up at the top of this bounce, risk to reward favors bears. So, you know, pick your favorite or least favorite alt and top fish it, and that can hedge you out. Or you can just short Bitcoin. I don't know, like if you're long spot, you can short some perps. If we get the break of the daily stair step or something, and let's see what the risk would be on that. I don't know. Let's see here. So 4.12% from the low of today's candle. So it's decent percentage, but when you got a further stop, you just size down. Or you could say, all right, I'm not just going to short this break. I'm going to wait for the next 4-hour bounce and then, try to be playing off of like this value area high, which this zone is from back here, this daily range back here, and continues to be very reactive for us. And that's what we've got bears defending right now at this point. So that's another thing that we can talk about as far as what would be a red flag on this pullback. Now that bears are defending this value area high, their first objective is this POC at 60.95K. Kind of a weird way to say that, but that's their objective. So if they fail to get to that and bulls set a daily high or low above that, then that is a good look. That's also right around our 50% retrace. So we can kind of look at that, almost exactly at it. So we can look at that spot as a key level from multiple angles. And that's one of the beautiful things in TA, when you get your confluence of one trading system or technical analysis system is giving you the same signal that another one is. That's the more confluence you have, the better there. And it's actually kind of funny. So Lamont is Chart Guys Lamont, one of my best friends, one of my trading partners, and he's obviously very deep into the volume profile stuff. And after literal years of him saying, dude, you need to start doing this stuff, I finally got on board with it. He trained me up, and before I started implementing it in my personal trading more, we would find that I would take an entry and he would take an entry. We were not consistently, but it definitely wasn't rare that we would take the exact same entry or exit based off of two different systems. It's just wild and beautiful how that can work out. But yeah, that is about that on Bitcoin. I guess we'll look into the short term here. So 15-minute 12 EMA resistance. Bulls got to get up and over that to get the 4-hour bounce underway. And then bears are going to be looking for that 4-hour lower high. So let's keep moving through. ETH, same deal. We know we got this falling wedge. We know we've got a decent bounce, but can bulls confirm the daily uptrend? We're a little bit weaker here. We actually started consolidation yesterday, and bears following through on it today after ultimately like a quick little daily bull flag without follow through, but lots of room for a 4-hour lower high compared to 32.21. Next bounce, bears going to have to confirm a 4-hour downtrend to be confident in daily consolidation, and we'll watch the 0.5 retrace right around 29.91. This will get the exact level. We won't wing it, and that's why 30.10 is the 0.5 retrace. So 30.10 is the 0.5 retrace, 29.63 is the golden pocket, and got to get a daily uptrend. Got to get a daily uptrend. We know we're looking for a monthly high or low. We know that we very often see, not very often, but it's certainly not uncommon to see falling wedges on a smaller time frame lead to a higher low on a larger time frame. And the one we were talking about on Thursday, when we were comparing this same thing, was gold with this 4-hour falling wedge looking for a weekly higher low. This is almost indistinguishable from the ETH chart, from the BTC chart, and we're getting that breakout. Silver was the same thing. And these are weekly higher lows we're looking for. So now on Bitcoin and ETH, we're looking at daily falling wedges for monthly higher lows. Can bulls do what metals did here? Time will tell. Time will tell. Let's keep moving. So ETHBTC, daily downtrend confirmed, rejection from weekly 12 EMA. We were watching for it. It shaped up. And what bulls need is the first weekly uptrend in eons if ETHUSD is going to come back into the limelight. So we haven't had one. The last one we had was a little dinker back in December 2022. I guess it confirmed in January 2023. But we've had big moves, but no uptrends. So can bulls do it from here? I wouldn't say there's really much of an indication that they are set up well for it, but we'll continue to watch. And now we got a daily downtrend, daily stair step as our guide for relative weakness on ETH. I'm skipping LTC today. If anybody cares, let me know. Let's see, Pendle. So we've got bulls trying to hold weekly 12 EMA. Got a weekly inside bar. Got to break 557 if a weekly higher low is going to get set this week. Decent move at this point off of the low. Got to regain a daily uptrend. So it's going to be a similar story on a lot of coins. We've got like our range bound coins, and we've got coins coming off of the lows, and really both of them, you've got to get the daily uptrend, because these wider ranged coins like this, if we go back up through this high, that's not a daily uptrend. And bulls are going to want to see clear higher low and higher high. This could be like a cup and handle type psychology. Looking at AIOZ right now. I didn't announce that, but you got your double top. It's typically not a reversal pattern, so I wouldn't really call it a cup and handle, but if this is a bull flag, it's a bull flag right below a key resistance, and actually a triple top here on that. So what else we got? BNB continues to tighten on up. Big old weekly equilibrium right below all-time highs. So high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, and just continuing to tighten. So volatility going to come into BNB sometime sooner than later, but I don't know. We could probably continue to tighten up into the end of the month. A lot of it will probably depend on what the rest of the space does. So let's go back and look at SOL. So SOL, if the ratio chart wasn't so strong, I would say this is a good hedge top fish opportunity, or just aggressive bear top fish opportunity. And it could still be decent, but you typically want your ratio chart to be telling you the same story that your USD pairing is telling you. Not necessarily meaning that they're like synced up and doing the same thing, but if you're going to be shorting something, you want a good indication or a reason to believe that the BTC ratio is either going to weaken or is currently weak and not going to strengthen. So at this point, though, SOL BTC is getting up through resistance, confirming a daily bull flag. So with that, I would be hesitant to short SOL. And that's that. We got clear resistance at 160 clean. Bulls don't want to go through and break it right now. The BTC pairing breaking resistance increases the odds that SOL USD can do the same, but you don't want to break resistance coming straight off the low. It's the analogy that Dan always gives for it is, it's like you got a brick wall and you got to run and bust through. If you're having to run from a half mile away, you're going to be tired. When you get there, you probably aren't going to break through. If you do break through, you're just going to fall over and be tired. But if you're able to line up 20 yards away and, drink a Gatorade or whatever people do before they run through brick walls, then you're going to be a lot more likely to break through, a lot more likely to be able to follow through on that. So this is the half mile run at this point. Bulls want to chill out, drink a Gatorade, and then go back and try to get through that. So still need a daily uptrend as well. Lots of room for a daily higher low compared to 118.47. And that is that. We've got bulls fending off monthly consolidation. Still just a monthly stair step here. So if they can break that 160, then we're more confident that that monthly stair step is able to remain intact. And bears have their chance here. Not to say that bears can't show back up. We know how fast things can change. We got CPI next week, I believe, in the broad market. And we know that the broad market correlates with crypto. And if we were to get weekly lower highs in the S&P 500 and in the NASDAQ, then that would put some pressure on these crypto coins. And that is actually an important thing to talk about here. Let's go back to Bitcoin and look at what we've been doing. We'll just pull it up side by side, actually. Let's look at the S&P 500 and we'll go to the daily. So the S&P 500 put its bottom in on the 19th of April. Bitcoin was right here. It put its bottom in, but then was relatively weak, went to lower lows. S&P 500 is up at the highs of its bounce so far. So Bitcoin relatively weak compared to the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ is the same deal there. And if these were to get weekly lower highs, Bitcoin relative strength and weakness wise is not positioned great for it. Now, that being said, Bitcoin held on much better back here during this original descent. So looking at the NASDAQ, we got to the lowest prices since January on that pullback. And Bitcoin, if we were to have done that, oh my goodness, what time frame is this? This is the daily. So if Bitcoin were to have done that, we would have been all the way back down in the 40Ks. So bigger picture, Bitcoin's definitely got relative strength. But in the shorter term, more recent terms, it doesn't. It does not. So this is kind of one of those things, we look around the market for clues. We look around the crypto space for clues. But the most important thing are the levels on the chart that you're trading. You don't want to get too carried away and be like, oh, I'm so blindly long Bitcoin because it's of its bigger picture relative strength compared to the NASDAQ. Or you don't want to say, oh, I'm afraid to buy this daily high or low because we have relative weakness compared to the NASDAQ, and maybe we're going to get a weekly lower high there. We look at these things to open our mind up to possibilities, to track clues and changes in behavior and this and that. But the most important thing are the levels on the chart that you are trading. So I love correlations, but it's one of those things that you need to implement responsibly, because if you go too hog wild with it, then it's very easy to overcomplicate things. And that's really just all it is. You're overcomplicating things if you go too hog wild with it and don't implement it into your game with some finesse. All right, let's go back to Sol. A little scattered today. Hope y'all are sticking along. So 4-hour 12 EMA rider, clean as you like it. That's the guide for the daily move. Once that's lost, daily consolidation be underway. Do bulls buy up hourly oversold conditions? Is retracement healthy? Can bulls confirm a daily uptrend? That's what we'll be watching there. Gotta keep eyes on Sol BTC. So if we were going to have a good short opportunity at top fish on Sol USD, what bears would want to see is a lack of acceptance above this resistance on Sol BTC, and ultimately a loss of this quick little daily high or low. That would then bring Sol back onto the map for a short. So R&DR breaking resistance still needs a daily uptrend. So very nice move off the lows at this point, 50%, but still need a daily uptrend to be confident and follow through. Wow, that just, hourly 12 EMA rider for a couple days. We've now lost it. Very little follow through at this point. Bears need to take out 4-hour 12 EMA if we're going to see some daily consolidation, but this 4-hour consolidation is healthy at this point. As healthy at this point. Let's look at the meme coins. So Pepe, we were talking about the relative strength, and it's doing its thing. So still need a daily uptrend though. Still need a daily uptrend. We've broken resistance, weekly lower high at 920. No, we haven't. It's 918, so it's a double top right now. So this is, if we were to see a stronger rejection here, this would be like the little weekly inverse head and shoulders type setup. But that's clear bear defense on like a 4-hour bull flag. I don't know if I like on the 4-hour, maybe 12-hour bull flag confirmed without follow through. Yeah, 12-hour bull flag confirmed without follow through. So could be a little head and shoulders here if bulls hold 826. So it's been relatively strong, but the number one thing that will shift relative strength to relative weakness or vice versa is a hold of a key support or resistance. And to think about that, ultimately what it does is it draws in traders. Because I was just coming here to say, wow, Pepe's still crushing it. But now seeing that we've got a double top with the highs, if I could trade Pepe, I'd be like, all right, I don't know, maybe I'll look for a 4-hour lower high next bounce on this thing, because we've got that clear double top. And that's not just me thinking that, that's a bunch of other people. And then when you have all those other people thinking that, then that's when you bring the bears out, and that shifts the correlation. So let's see. Going to be looking for a daily higher low. Tons of room for it. Watch volume, watch retracement size. Same deal as we've been talking about. Weekly stair step, and still looking good. Don't like the double top, but still, there's nothing too shabby about 133% in a month. Who else? WIF doing some things. Weekly uptrend confirmed for the first time in its history, but not much follow through at this point. Similar, I reckon it's another 12-hour bull flag without follow through. Yeah, same as Pepe. So, and this is exactly what we were talking about on Sol, how you don't want to break resistance after running half a mile, and bulls did exactly what you would want to see and then still failed. So, this isn't an exact science, and I would imagine that this is largely due to Bitcoin pulling back if we're to look at this and when we topped out. So 5 in the morning we broke resistance and then have been pulling back since then. When did Bitcoin top? Yeah, so same thing. So Bitcoin topped at the same time and pulled back, and that's why it's important to be watching Big Daddy even if you're an altcoin degenerate. Let's look at Bonk. So Bonk, this could be a cup and handle if bulls show up right now. If bulls show up right now, you got your cup, your double top. This needs to stay a bull flag though. And if there's any more pullback, that'll be bears making room for a lower high. So aggressive bulls could be looking for it, but this is where some of the correlational stuff can be beneficial, because you can say, all right, well, I'm looking for a daily higher low on Bonk, but Bitcoin hasn't even begun daily consolidation yet. So if Bitcoin bears get daily consolidation underway, Bonk is not positioned well for it. Bonk is not positioned well for it, but it could be exactly what we were talking about of is that getting too cute with the correlational stuff? Because if I'm looking at this chart in a bubble, I'm saying, oh, it looks pretty good. We got this clear resistance. We got bulls trying to press up on it. I want to try to get a position, see if we can bust through, see some follow through. So in a bubble, I like the Bonk dip buy, but with correlational elements brought into play, I don't like it. So doesn't mean you can't try it. And this is where selling partials to get risk-free can be really helpful, because we got 15-minute 12 EMA resistance on the way down. If you make a play for getting over 15-minute 12 EMA, what's your risk? It's not that big. I mean, obviously this is a volatile name. It's actually set up pretty much where we would want it. Say you bought that break, you got your stop 2.5% below. So, you can put in, 35% of your account and be comfortably risked on something like that. And you get your 1-to-1 move, you sell half, you get risk-free. Asking for a 2.5% move on Bonk is not a lot. You get risk-free, and then you can say, all right, well, if it does hold daily 12 EMA and this consolidation is healthy, then you got tickets to the show. If it doesn't, you stop out. You either take your full stop, which is reasonably set up at less than 1% of your account, if that's how you like to roll, or you get risk-free and you stop out and you lose nothing. Before we get into chat, let's talk about Mara. So Mara is getting put into the S&P 600 small cap ETF or index. I'm not sure what you would call it. I think index probably, but either way, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the Big Daddy S&P 500, but it's slightly deformed little sibling. I didn't think there would be much of a reaction, but the chart tells us very differently. The chart tells us very differently, big green bull day, and let's see what the implications are. So that is continuation of the weekly bounce, which is what bulls wanted to see, because ultimately this was not too impressive of a weekly bounce and left the door open for bears to see continuation of the weekly downtrend. But what this move now does is creates room for a weekly higher low compared to 1418. So we're not seeing the same strength elsewhere in the space. Riot certainly a lot weaker here, looking for the daily lower high. CLSK, nice daily bounce for sure off of the lows, but still looking for the lower high And just for perspective, this whole bounce is 19%. At the highs of today, I think Mara was up 19% from the close. Yeah, 20%. So bulls will be looking for higher lows on consolidation, hourly higher lows. And one of the things with stuff like this, a lot of times you will see run-ups into when this name officially gets added. So it's on watch now. It's definitely on watch, and there's very nice hourly 12 EMA guide for folks to be playing off of. And if we do run up, I don't know when it's actually getting added, but say we do run up into when it gets added, that will likely be a sell the news event. We do have earnings coming up, which really throws a wrench in all of that. Is that this week? Yeah, that's this Thursday. So that's a bummer, actually. That throws a wrench in it because then you've got the earnings gamble piled in with any other attempts at trying to play something. But the note of the priced in and specifically the listing or ETF ad hype type dealios very often sell the news eventually. All right, let's hop into chat, see what y'all are talking about. ER Berg, what up, dude? Jahanzib, hello, sir. Lizard in the lights. I like that name. Let's go. Rachel says, looking at news stories today regarding XRP SEC case. Let's take a look at XRP and see if the chart is saying anything's going on. It is. We got some increasing volume. So we do have something going on, but not like, when you look at Mara compared to its peers, it's like very clearly something going on. We've got increasing bull volume here on XRP, but the chart, if you didn't know that there was any news out there, it looks pretty much the same. So XRP definitely lost a lot of clarity, bigger picture. Got a little spoiled with that 2-week equilibrium. Got a little spoiled with that, and ultimately it broke bear with no follow through. So that's a little bit of a bull sign, because if bears were all that in a bag of potato chips, then they would have seen follow through down below the lows. They didn't, and now bulls are trying to get a 2-week bounce underway. So got to break 57.15 if that's going to be the case. And right now we've got bears defending it. That is a clean, is that a to the tick double top? Not quite to the tick, but pretty dang close. Pretty dang close. So we do have a little daily uptrend here. If we were to lose this little higher low, then I'd zoom out and look for like a 2-day equilibrium, and anything over 47.82 would be a 2-day higher low. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. So tale as old as time. You get the big news pump, and then you give it all back. 5-minute 12 EMA support on the way up. Stair step mark at the top. And now we got a little 5-minute downtrend as our guide. But bulls will be looking for an hourly higher low. We got the 12 EMA coming into play. But due to the depth of this pullback, even though we're holding the EMA, I would anticipate an hourly lower high compared to this 57.03 next bounce. Let's see if XRP-BTC is doing anything. I forget what this was. A 2-day 12 EMA rider, I think. Yeah, 2-day 12 EMA rider. We have gotten up and over, and bears defending resistance. So is that weekly 12 EMA coming into play? It's tough when you're on downtrends on all time frames, because you get one victory, then you're just on to the next boss. So definitely a shift underway for XRP, but more work to be done by bulls. So really what that is going to be is confirming a weekly uptrend and getting over weekly 12 EMA to break the monthly stair step and get a monthly bounce underway. It's been all bears since last July, and that shift is trying to take place. But burden of proof is on bulls for that. Let's see, JRL getting nuked by the Nightbot. Let's see what he said. Rocket ships, very tactful. And more rocket ships. Yeah, I get it, bro. From the couch to crypto, so smash that like button. Yeah, that would be great. We got 32 likes and 95 people. Pretty weak. Pretty weak, but I appreciate all the likes that we do have. I'm not a greedy like person. I get told to request likes. I would let you all do whatever you want to do if it was my call. All right, looking at ADA-BTC for ER Berg. ADA-BTC. Can bulls shape up the yearly higher low? I'm gonna start zoomed out. I know you said 6 or 8 hour, but I'm gonna start zooming out because context is important. Low, high, higher low, lower high. Bulls trying to shape up a higher low. If this yearly higher low shapes up on ADA-BTC, everyone's going to be talking about ADA again. So that's obviously what bulls want to see. We've got a quarterly downtrend. We've got a monthly downtrend. Big monthly bounce, unable to confirm the uptrend. And if you look here closely, this is the red flag. You break the high of that month here, and then don't see follow through, and you come back down, that's the red flag. So weekly, trying to just base out at the bottom here, I suppose. Probably 2-day EQ, low, high, higher low, lower high. Bulls trying to form a higher low. And actually, we'll just use the 2-day 12 EMA for this. So if bulls want to see a convincing weekly bounce, got to get over this double top here. And ultimately, we'll call that 789. As far as the 4 hour, got a little dinky 4 hour uptrend as bulls get a daily bounce underway. So anything below, though, 784, going to be a daily lower high. I'll stick with the 2-day, though. I'm not going to get too complicated with this. Really, nothing's changing until we break out of this range. If it's to the upside, that's a more convincing weekly bounce, and bulls trying to fend off a weekly bear flag. If it breaks to the downside, odds increase of this weekly bear flag, and we are looking back down to the lows. So as far as the guide for the daily or 2-day bounce, got a little 4 hour uptrend you can be watching there. Let's see, Lizard in the Lights. What is the significance of an altcoins BTC pairing compared to USD? That's it's a pretty in-depth topic, so there's not really a quick answer for it, but well, there is a quick answer. I don't know what I'm talking about. If your BTC pairing chart is going up, that shows you that your name has relative strength compared to Bitcoin. And since the space as a whole ebbs and flows together, when you have relative strength compared to Bitcoin, that increases the odds that you will have success on whatever trade you are taking, assuming that you're not playing counter trend the ratio. So let me find it here. I've got a webinar that I did on correlations. Hopefully I can find this quick. But it talks a lot more in depth on the topic. Yeah, there it is. And yeah, I would copy the clean link. All right, where am I? All right, I just posted this in chat. One thing though with it, it's like kind of icing on the cake type analysis to add to your game. If you're still working out the nuts and bolts of just price action TA, essentially, in the patterns and retracement sizes to determine most likely scenarios, I wouldn't fret too much about the BTC pairings, but that webinar I'll explain it a good bit. And yeah, the beauty of it is, and why oftentimes I start my crypto scouting with the BTC pairings, is the general gist of it is when you're entering alts, you want that to align with whatever's going on Bitcoin, because we know the space ebbs and flows together. If you are looking for, say, a 4 hour higher low on Bitcoin, and subsequently you want to buy a 4 hour higher low on a strong alt, well, if you're just playing Bitcoin and say Bitcoin doesn't get the 4 hour higher low, it just drops through support. If you're playing an alt that has relative strength compared to Bitcoin, it is not uncommon to see your relatively strong alt hold 4 hour support and have that be a successful trade. So if you get good at integrating the BTC ratios into your trading, it can drastically increase your hit percentage, because even when you're wrong on Bitcoin, if you're right with the fact that the alt you're playing has relative strength, you'll often like at least be able to get risk free, and you'll stop out break even. But you know, I've only got 5 watch lists up here. I mean, I've got a lot more in there, but I've got 5 favorited, and one of them is just my ratio charts. So even if you don't have like the full-blown integration of the ratio charts into your alt trading, you can get this watch list and just sort by percentage and see who's relatively strong on the day, who's relatively weak on the day. So that's a very like crude and simple way to get some benefit to your trading immediately with a BTC pairing watch list. So 2 of these watch lists are just ratios. You know, this is my one for the broad market and commodities and all of that. That's my crypto one. I got my crypto watch list, my live stream for the chart guys watch list, and then it's just called red list, but this is what I trade out of. It's just a mixture of everything. No organization, but those names have all been there for so long, I just know where they're at. It's a little whack, but that's the quick skinny. I don't know how quick it ended up being. Don't know how quick it ended up being. Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous wants to look at Jasmy. Let's see. So Jasmy is grinding this weekly 12 EMA. Not a lot going on until we break out of this range. So it's going to be a standard range bound play. You got bulls playing long off the lows, bears playing short off the highs, and we need to see a daily uptrend if we want some momentum shift. So looking like daily consolidation shaping up with the rest of the space. Anything over 15.25.9 would be a daily higher low. Watching volume, watching retracement. Can bulls get a daily uptrend and crack back through ultimately 21.5 to try to work the way towards the upper end of this range. But not a lot going on, just sideways. It's pretty similar to BNB actually. Not as clean, but just sideways. Just sideways. All right, looking at near. So near, definitely one of our stronger bouncers off of that beginning of April flush low. So we got our weekly lower high set, which was the most likely scenario, and bulls quickly setting a weekly higher low. Only by 6 pennies at this point. Got to break 764, 770. Got a few levels all right up in there. But this looks like Bonk. Yeah, this like just clear wall of resistance, doesn't it? Is that not very similar? Yeah, very similar to Bonk there. Very similar. Bit of a different structure, but that's the clear wall of resistance. I would probably be looking at it as something like that. You know, that's what bulls got to get up and through to have us looking back to the highs of the bounce. Everything else is going to be same as these other coins. Daily consolidation. I don't really consider this a daily uptrend. I don't count them on outside bars generally, but we do have the support there. We can be keeping eyes on. That is 668. And if bears want to get daily consolidation underway, they need to take out 4-hour 12 EMA, and we'll watch volume, we'll watch retracement, and see if bulls can confirm a convincing daily uptrend. We do have an LTC fan. I was hoping someone would ask. So LTC, we know bigger picture, we got a quarterly tightening range. High, low, lower high, higher low, and bears certainly defending 115 resistance. We got monthly consolidation underway, but we are looking for a monthly higher low compared to 60 clean. And bulls need to confirm a weekly uptrend if a monthly higher low is going to shape up. So trying to shape up a weekly higher low now, down here at 74.53, but more work to be done, and potential to just continue to tighten up on the weekly. Key resistance is going to be 88.56, and ultimately confirming a little daily uptrend here today and not seeing follow through. So that's going to be the same deal as, was it Bonk? Again, that broke resistance and didn't see follow through? No, who was that? It was Pepe. I think. I don't know what I'm thinking of. We'll just stay focused. We'll stay focused. LTC. But I'm guessing it's the same thing, that like LTC gets its independent break of short-term resistance, but then it gets the 5 a.m. boggening with everybody else. Yeah, so not the best look, but kind of tough to hate on LTC for that because the whole space pulled back. It's unfortunate that it happened right when you're breaking resistance, but that is how it is. So got room for a 4-hour lower high next bounce. Anything below 84.20 would be one. And that's that little 15-minute tightening range here. Actually, a little more like a falling channel. Let's see if this can break bull. That would be an hourly higher low, if I'm not mistaken, shaping up. Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot of clarity here in the shorter term, to be honest. The hourly is not awful, though. We can work with that. 81.96 resistance high of this candle. If bulls get through that, that's an hourly uptrend confirmed to get a 4-hour bounce underway, as long as it doesn't happen in the next hour and 12 minutes. And then we'll see. Do bears confirm a 4-hour downtrend? Have us looking for like a 2-day tightening range to continue? I think that's my preferred look. Low, high, higher low. Anything below 88.59 would be a lower high. Sometimes you gotta sashay around the charts to find clarity. That's why we have the different time frames. It's just to find clarity. And I really don't have a lot of it on LTC right now, but the 2 days nice. We'll stick with that. If this breaks bull, monthly higher low shaping up. If it breaks bear, monthly consolidation continuing, and perhaps quarterly lower high shaping up, though. We got 2 more months left on that candle, so we won't worry about that. Let's check in on LTC, BTC. See if we got any clues there. Still just weekly 12 EMA resistance. If we want the LTC show to come to town, got to get a weekly uptrend. Got to get over weekly 12 EMA. Can bulls do it from here? They can, but similar to ETHBTC, do we have indication that it's likely? Not really. We had indication that they had a good shot at it after this move, but then right to lower lows. Right to lower lows. All right. AJ did Sol BTC and Sol USD earlier in the stream. Let's see, Rob H. Back when Lamont and I were doing similar trade entries, did you figure out whose system was producing better exits? I don't know if we did. Lamont has better trading psychology than I do, so he was getting better exits, whether that was systemic or personal. I don't know. I do not know, but Lamont has an iron mind. I want to be like Lamont when I grow up. Such an inspiration. If y'all don't learn from Lamont. So he puts out a video on YouTube on the weekends as part of the Chart Guys Swing Report, and he talks about hot stuff in there. It's not just Swing Report names, but if you're not watching that, you're doing yourself a disservice. He's one of the absolute best that I've ever seen. I'm not just saying that because he's my best friend. He's a genius and just such a good guy. He would do anything for anybody to the point that it's a detriment to him, which just a blessing to be close with him. All right. Yeah, we'll wrap it up there. We will wrap it up there. If you haven't got the memo, I'm on Twitter now. Give me a follow, junglefunk_. If you want cool stuff like this, GME testing 4-hour 12 EMA. Anybody buying? And let's see how'd that work out. That worked out pretty well. Snap. I actually got. Hold on a second. Booyah. I forgot, I honestly kind of forgot about this during the stream. Let's see here. Give me a moment. That's what I'm talking about. Got my entry at 1388, just scaling on out, and I got my last exit there at 1598 during the stream. Love to see it. Love to see it. But yeah, give me a follow on Twitter if you want some unfiltered funk. And thank you all for tuning in, spending some of your time with me. And give Lamont a follow on Twitter as well. Let me get his, let's see. So I only follow my like trading, like Mount Rushmore, I call it. I know that Mount Rushmore, it's not 5 lads, but Chart Guys, Lamont, very nice and clean there. But yeah, all of these 5 dudes are exceptional. Obviously, you all know Dan. But right on. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button. Just 47 likes still. That's pretty light. I appreciate those who have liked. If you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing. We got a ton of sweet free stuff from people that love charts and have gotten pretty good at it over time. And I will see you Thursday. Farewell. Have a good day.